Hey,
Hi, Ruth.
how are you doing?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm so good. So good today to see you. So good to be here. And I'm super glad that I'm back again on Grief to Grace this evening. And as you can see, I have somebody who is so awesomely beautiful. And she's ready to share her story on Grief to Grace today. So, how are you doing today, everyone out there? And I know that this particular one, it resonates so much with me, and that I'm really like interested in it. And I know there are a lot of people that were like me, or maybe are still like me. So today we'll be looking at a topic which is from loss to legacy, how life insurance can protect your loved one. A heartfelt story with Christine Linscomb. So, how are you today as we start off with our Grief to Grace program? So, our podcast, as you know, is that podcast that takes you from being stuck in the depth of grief to rising into the fullness of grace. So, I am your host, Ruth Hephzibah, and our mission here at Grief to Grace is to offer you a compassionate space where you can find hope, healing, and purpose in the midst of your pain. We share stories of resilience and provide tools for recovery and help you rewrite your grief into a powerful narrative of grace and strength. So today we have a very beautiful guest in the house. And before we dive into today's episode, I want to once again remind us of our book, which is A Pen That Rewrites Grief. So this book means so much to me because it helped me. Those interventions you see in there are the interventions I used when I was stuck in grief. I was able to get out of grief, and my keys and so many other people that I know, we've used it, we tested it out on everyone, and it has worked. And everyone that has purchased it, we've got a lot of good reviews, people sending messages, and I think I need to put out those messages one of these days and get people to come talk about how much it has helped them in their grief journey. So you need to get this book, and I want to thank everyone that have been purchasing this book, everyone that have been supporting in one way or the other. That is the only way you can support right now. Grief to Grace and Grief to Grace International, we do a lot, and we are starting up with a lot of projects in for this season because it's a new season for us beginning from September 1, and we need as much funds, as much money as we can to be able to move push our projects. And it's not just here in the United States, we do a lot internationally. So I really want to thank you all for all that you do, and I want to say thank you. You've been so awesome. For all those that have been participating in Grief to Grace and International Grief to Grace podcast and Grief to Grace projects, you're the best. And also, like I always say, these are t-shirts. If you want it, DM me and I'll send one to you. It's not so expensive, it's just $20, and you can support Grief to Grace by picking up our apparels, and you will be so glad that you did. Thank you so much for staying put, and for all that have been sharing their stories. I want to say thank you for pouring out your heart and helping other people in their healing journey. Grief to Grace is a ministry that God has given to us, and we are here to make sure that we continue to push it forward and help people heal from their grief as much as we can. So, today, stay tuned to the end of this episode, like I always say, so you can get a gift from us as usual. So, today we have our guest in the house, and she is Christine Linscomb. Christine is a life insurance broker and a licensed nurse who turned her grief into a mission to educate others about the importance of life insurance. So her journey began after she watched her beloved aunt suffer from cancer in her early 40s. So leaving behind her kids, and it was a very painful and eye-opening experience for Christine. One of the things that motivated her to learn how she could also help others their life insurance. So now she is dedicated to helping others understand that life insurance is more important than a death. So it is about protecting your loved ones and leaving a legacy. So, Christy, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for finding time to join us today. And like I said at the beginning, this is one topic I think resonates so much with me because I personally believe in life insurance, and I can tell you now that it is very important. From my personal experience, and I keep saying it everywhere I go. If I had to do something different, I think one of those things I would have done differently is making sure that we had benefits to protect each and every one of us, as my husband was saying. So thank you for
Amen. Well, thank you so much, Ruth. Saying thank you so much for having me here. I am blessed and I'm just expressing my gratitude. It's so nice to meet you and talk with you. Um, and I just want to thank God for his mercy and grace and just us connecting and just you allowing me to have a safe haven here to express and share my story with everyone.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And I am here, but now
Well, the question
sorry, so we share story and tell us how um, everything that really happened and how it has led you to your current mission.
yes, yes. So a little bit about me. My name is Christine Linscomb. I came here to the US at the age of 8. I'm from the islands. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. I have been here for about 20 years. My parents brought me here for the land of the free, the land of the opportunities here in this beautiful country. And I am so blessed to be here and just have these opportunities here. I am a wife, a mother of 3. I am a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for 8 years now, and I am now a licensed financial professional. And I just love what I do. I love helping people. I love educating people, not just in health, but also the amazing benefits that life insurance offers. And so, what I want to do today is just share my story and also people to take away just having a safety net for their family, a financial safety net, so that God forbid anything were to happen to that person or the family, everyone is secured financially. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us today. And you know, while I was looking at Dr. and reading the story, I realized that your aunt has from and actually relate to it, that story and the
Ruth, the
struggles that
connection is bad. I can't really hear you.
we What happened? Are you back?
All right, we are back.
It was hanging.
We are back live. I can hear you a lot better now.
Okay. Okay. So we're back. I was wondering what was happening. So I had to take myself out. I brought it back. I'm like, what's happening? Okay. There are times like that. So
Yes, but the show must go on.
that's it. So as we were saying, um, maybe we should start all over again from the beginning. Okay. So can you share a story of your aunt's battle with colon cancer and how it impacted you personally and professionally?
Yes, yes. So like I said, I have a history. I have been a registered nurse for 8 years now. And so my aunt got diagnosed with colorectal cancer in her late 30s. Um, and so my aunt has always been a very strong woman, strong willed, very witty, very funny. Um, but she had that Caribbean blood in her, very strong willed. And so she has two children. At the time, they were 8 and 10. And so she fought as much as she could during her last few months. She fought as much as she could. She got up and tried to still do my cousin's hair, comb her hair, just be more present and involved. She fought as much as she could as a mother. She did the best she could. Um, and then sadly, she passed away in her early 40s, and that was very hard. I watched her still clock in on online. She worked from home at the time, and even though she was going through radiation therapy, that radiation therapy was very hard on her. I saw her fingers get brown to black. She was in constant pain, that sciatic nerve pain. She couldn't really see too well because of that radiation therapy, but she still continued to log in for work online. There were times that I had to help her log in. But the reason she did that is because she had life insurance through her job. She understood the importance and purpose of life insurance. And so that's why she did it. She was determined to leave something behind for her children, which she did. And so they are very thankful for her. They still honor her to this day. They still, my little cousin, she carries on like my aunt. She has that little wittiness about her. Um, they're just so funny and they're growing so much, but they love and honor her in the most beautiful way. And so just seeing what my aunt went through, the pain, the suffering, but still doing all she can for her children, it gave me strength. And so whenever she passed away, a year later, I learned about more about life insurance and the importance of it. And the most important part is obtaining life insurance outside of your employer, outside of your job, because anything could happen. And, you can lose your job and there goes your life insurance. As soon as you are terminated from your job, your life insurance through your employer is also terminated. So there is so much that goes into having life insurance outside of your job. And so that is my purpose of sharing, because if my aunt did have life insurance outside of her job, maybe she would have had more time to just enjoy her time with her family and heal and not really worry about the finances and so forth. So that's my purpose. And I'm just so happy that I have been able to just use my grief, navigating through from nursing to life insurance, to just share and educate others about her journey, what she went through, in the hopes that they learn. They
Yeah,
learn.
I have a personal story, because I really stood against it, and I'm like, no, I there. Anyway, we'll get to that. And today I know better. I know better. I tell myself, sometimes I just talk. Like my son will always say, what if that, if you had allowed that when he needed, when he wanted to get those insurance, then if you had allowed him, maybe we would have been grieving in our Lamborghini. That's just like on the lighter note, but that's the truth, you know. You'll be grieving and you'll be smiling. So it's really like different when you're grieving the loss of a loved one and you're also grieving the financial part,
Mm-hmm.
survival and other stuff. And that's what most people who are grieving go through, especially when they lose the breadwinner in the family.
Mm-hmm.
So now, transitioning from nursing to become an insurance broker has really helped you to be able to get all these things. And you talked about it, that that's the turning point was your aunt who actually passed and was able to do all these and help the family with the insurance that she had. So many people rely on life insurance provided by the employer. And I know you've touched something about it, but why is it important to have a separate policy? And what are the risks in doing this? Because people need to know what the risk truly is. Because I know that once you leave your job,
Mm-hmm.
your insurance is gone. And also, there are other hidden stuff that are usually in it. And secondly, it is also more like a group stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and there are limitations. So, what are those things that people need to know and why they need to have a personal life insurance different from their employer? I think this is something that people need to understand very well. Me, I'm still learning how to get insurance and the importance of getting insurance even at this stage. And I still need to learn more, and that's why I'm really interested in this.
Yes. So those are great, great points, Ruth. And so life insurance through your employer, the employer will really just provide basic insurance coverage for the employer. And most times that insurance coverage is not enough for the family needs. So the importance of having life insurance, private life insurance outside of the job is that it's a lot more flexible. You would have enough insurance for your family needs. It'll cover the mortgage, any debt, and they'll be able to use the rest of that money for whatever the need may be. Um, and then there's also insurance that provides living benefits that insurance companies through the employer would not provide. So, living benefits are chronic, critical, and terminal illness. So, that can be if someone were to get a heart attack, a stroke, that life insurance policy, that death benefit will be able to be accelerated so that that person would be able to use that life insurance while they are alive.
Hmm.
And so they would be able to pay their medical bills, pay their home bills, whatever the case may be, so that that client would be able to heal, just focus on healing and recovering.
And that's key because
Mhm.
sometimes some of the things that kill people is when they lose their jobs because they're ill and they have to take care of themselves, they have to take care of their family. The other day, I was talking with a lady who had to move from her home. I think she's a nurse, but now she cannot work. And because she can't work, she has to move and start living with her brother. And now she's grieving the fact that she has to live with somebody. And she's also grieving the fact that now she can no longer have insurance because of her health, you know, situations, and because it's kind of chronic and she cannot get anything. And she left her job. She lost her insurance. She lost everything that she has worked for a long time. So those things are really key. But there are some myths, you know, and misconceptions about this life insurance. And, you know, I thought I was going to come to that because that was one of the reasons why I never allowed my husband to get insurance. And I know he got insurance in another country, but I didn't even know, and because I wasn't ready, I just had this feeling that if you have life insurance, it means you signed your death warrant.
Yeah.
And so when it was, in fact, before I became ill, a lot of people kept on coming to me like, you need insurance, you need life insurance for yourself, for your family, and all that, trying to educate us on it. And I never listened. I'm like, no, I'm not interested because you're telling me to sign my death warrant. So I'm now like, oh, if I sign this, it means I'm ready to die, you know. But there are some things we need to understand. We have insurance for our cars, we have insurance for our homes, we have insurance for a lot of stuff, and we don't need them most times, but we pay for them. So
Yeah.
why don't you also have insurance for your life?
Yeah.
Because I'm talking personally, like it's really like key for me. My son is here and he's just like listening and nodding to it because he
Yeah,
understands.
it's so true what you're saying. We don't hesitate to get to
Yeah,
get insurance on our cars, our phones, our iPhones, because we're like, oh, we spend so much money on this. I need that extra coverage. But the most important thing is our life. We need extra coverage in our life.
we need
Why do we
insurance only.
hesitate? Yeah, why do we
In fact,
hesitate?
as much as we can. I don't even think there's anyone that is really too much. Even 10 million is not enough to
Mhm.
insure your life. Because when the chips are down, you know that you need it and your family need it. They need to have all these things. And if you gone tomorrow, what happens to you? So I really wanted to talk about these myths and misconceptions about the life insurance that you've encountered, because I know in your journey, now that you're talking to people about it, you must have heard a lot. And I know there are a lot of people listening right now that also have that misconception. It's something that is always there. In
Mhm.
as much as I lost it with my husband, I still had it for a long time. You know, I still never wanted to get involved in anything that had to do with life insurance because I was just like, oh, I've lost one already. I don't want to lose me, you know? So we just need to. So I think it's something you need to talk about.
Yes, so life insurance is an uncomfortable conversation, but we have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable on this topic. It's the only way that we can grow and learn. And so one of the myths about life insurance is that, especially with the younger population, they believe that they are too young and healthy and they don't need it. And they do. They really do need it. So you could really benefit from having life insurance whenever you're young and healthy. It's the cheapest. It's the cheapest whenever you are young and healthy. You will get the best rates and the best benefits, and it's locked in for life. Another myth would be it's too expensive. It's too expensive. Whenever you're young, that's why I say lock it in whenever you're young, because it's going to be the cheapest whenever you're young and healthy. But the premium that you pay for life insurance depends on a few aspects. So your age, how much coverage you want, how long you want it. Do you want a term policy or a permanent policy? And your health. So those are aspects that play into how much your insurance coverage will cost. Um, so I could think of for now. Do you have any myth or any misconceptions that you've heard?
Yeah, there are just a lot because most times people feel, oh, by the time I do this, I'm definitely going to fall sick and I'm going to die. That's usually the misconception.
Yeah.
And also, they feel these people are just scammers. They'll never pay. Really, we have insurance companies because they have a lot of hidden stuff in it. But the truth of the matter is, like I was talking to someone the other day, is most times we don't tell the truth also. We don't tell the truth when they tell us to put down our medical history.
Hmm.
For some of us, we don't have anything, you know, so we just write them. But If you know that you have any underlying illness, no
Mm-hmm.
matter how tiny it is, and you feel it is so tiny,
Let them
just
know.
let the insurance company know. I'm
Yes.
talking about it because we had a personal experience with a family friend after they paid for years. When the man passed and it was time to pay, the insurance company said he never declared that he was ill,
That's right.
and at the time that he um, got the insurance, he was already diagnosed of his illness, but he
Mm-hmm.
never told anybody about it, and he never told the family, nor the insurance, and they lost it all. So, and I've also met a lot of people too that hid some parts, and also if you started, continue paying. That's
Mm-hmm.
another thing I've noticed also. It is. If you're
Yeah.
not ready, don't get started. Because when you break it along the line, it means that you never get it.
I'll say
So,
you never get it. It would just be a little bit more harder for you to get back that same rate
yeah,
and benefits because we don't know what could happen in between that time that policy has lapsed. But depending how long it's lapsed and what has happened in your life within that time, it would just be a lot more complicated to get back that same rate. But you're right. You don't want to miss that payment. That
you
payment
don't
needs
want
to
to
be
miss
just
that
as
payment.
important as you paying your mortgage bill, your phone bill. It needs to be just as important as those bills.
Yes. So that's it. So those are some of the things I've realized with it. And because I'm talking about this because I was talking with a friend about it like last week, and we were talking about this life insurance stuff and trust and all that, and why they are really important for
Mhm.
our family. They're important because we may not understand now because we feel we're healthy, but the truth of the matter is, no one knows the day, the hour that anything can happen.
Yeah.
And we're not actually saying it's going to happen now because we've had people who have lived over 65, and didn't have need for it, but
Mm.
they converted it to other stuff. But um, just like you have a car and um, you you keep paying for your insurance, and whether it's you're going to have a crash or not, and you don't even want to pray to have a crash because your premium is definitely going to go up. So same with your life insurance and your trust and everything that you need to do to secure your family future. And I think insurance is one thing that is key to
Mhm.
secure, at least for like a middle class.
Yes.
Yeah, if you can't go for the trust, then you need to secure your family with
Oh,
the
goodness.
insurance. Yeah. So basically, that's it. So do you have like personal experience with your aunt's passing?
Yeah.
Um, how has it really influenced your approach to educating others on life insurance? And how I was just looking at it, I'm like, you left nursing to insurance. I mean,
Yes. So I still practice nursing. I'm still a registered nurse. I
yeah,
do that part time, but on my free time, I still love educating and helping others with life insurance and writing policies. So yes, I just love helping people. I really feel like it's my calling, and so with nursing and life insurance, I still feel like I am helping and educating. It's still like doing God's work, pretty much. I still feel like it's doing God's work. So,
that's it. Okay, so basically, looking back, what was the hardest part of what your aunt passed through or that she went through, and how has it really changed your perspective on
yeah,
life and death?
my hardest part was just um, just watching her be so strong and just be in constant pain. And she's taking medicine, and it really wasn't helping. But the hardest part was just seeing her be strong and push through every single day for her children. That was the hardest part because, like I said, she couldn't really see and she just kept logging into the computer every morning, and I would help her log in so that she made sure that whenever she passed, she's passing with that life insurance. And so, what I took from that was that, I just really want to educate families on just getting life insurance outside of their employer. Because if my aunt had life insurance outside of her employer, she would not have forced herself to log in because she didn't want to. She didn't want to log into work. And then, too, if she had life insurance outside of her employer, she would have most likely had living benefits that she could have used and it could have been accelerated. So, since she was diagnosed with a terminal illness, she would have been able to use up to 80 to 90% of her death benefit while she's alive. So, she could have used that money to pay her mortgage, pay her bills. She could have just taken the family out to Disney World, just enjoy her last couple of months with her family with instead of worrying about the finances. Financial burden, financial stress is an inflammation trigger for everyone just in general, but especially with cancer, it will really exacerbate the cancer symptoms. So if she was educated and had that knowledge of getting life insurance outside of her employer, I believe that, she would have left a little bit more peaceful, but just knowing that is just my purpose. Like, I don't want anyone to go through that because I see it in the hospital, working in the hospital. I see it all the time, but actually seeing a loved one go through it at home, it just hits differently. It really does. And so that's my purpose. Like, I don't want anyone to go through that because it's hard. I mean, she left behind two beautiful kids. So, so yeah, they were 8 and 10 whenever she passed. So it's hard all around, and so that's why I really, really just want to educate others, especially our community.
That's key. If your aunt was here, I'm sure she would say, "Bravo, you're doing something so great." So, what do you think she would say about you now and what you're doing right now?
I think she'll be proud. She will probably be kind of like, "Girl, why are you telling people about this?" But she would still be proud of me for sharing her story. I got my uncle's blessing. Um, and he blessed me with just being able to share her story because he knows that she'll just be happy that I'm educating others because I know she wouldn't want others to go through what she went through. So I got his blessing, so I know that she'll be very proud of me.
Wow, that's great. So, how have you been able to navigate from grief to grace in this season?
So just channeling this grief through life insurance and educating others is just, I mean, to this day, I still get emotional talking about her. But it just gives me more purpose, more motivation to just share my story and help others. Because there's so many people out there that don't know all of the benefits of life insurance and they still believe in some of the myths. And so I really want to debunk those myths and misconceptions. And that's just how I'm just navigating through all of this.
Okay, that's so nice. So now you talk to people, you have like your professional stuff and page, and you talk to people about all this, and you do a lot of coaching on how they can get life insurance. So, how can people reach you?
Yes, so I have a website. They could also reach out to me on Instagram, lovely Chrissy _01. And then my Facebook page, my business page is called Chrissy. You'll be able to log into my website on there and book an appointment.
Okay. Okay, so all of her links are in the description below, so you can see everything you need to see. You can connect with Christine. Uh, really like her drive. I like her spirit. you know, I love all that she's doing because it comes with the purpose. It comes with the passion. One thing is to know what's pushing you, and another thing is to drive that, not just for yourself, but to make sure other people are able to benefit from it. And that is basically The reason why we're here at Grief to Grace to be able to reach out to as much people as we can reach out to. Where is the sound? And also to help people as much as they can. So today I really know that a lot of people are struggling with grief. A lot of people are struggling with their finances. But one of the ways you can secure your family, yeah, something is wrong, son, is to make sure you get your life insurance and other stuff. So you can, even when you're gone tomorrow, they'll be able to pay off the mortgage, they'll be able to do other stuff, they'll be able to leave, they'll be able to set up businesses, and they'll be glad. And when they're grieving, they'll be grieving happily. They'll be grieving upward. you know, you don't want to be stuck in grief because you don't have money. I am a living testimony to that. So I can tell you very well what it's like to be at the top and to be down because of grief. So I just want to encourage you, every one of you, no matter what you're going through now, the same way you navigate grief and you pay your bills, you pay your mortgage, you pay your rent, you pay your insurances for everything, please make it a point of duty to pay your life insurance and get the life insurance for yourself and for your family is key. And if you want to, you can reach out to Christine Linscomb. She will definitely help you. She is there on Chrissy and she'll be able to help you. And today we've been talking about how life insurance can protect your loved ones. A heartfelt story from Christine Linscomb. And I tell you, she has really talked so much about it. And for me, not taking away a lot. One of the things I've taken away is that life insurance isn't just about death, it is about life, love, and legacy you leave behind when you're gone. Just like you said, the cousins are so happy and they're grateful to their mom for that which she did. And like Kristen said, try and separate your insurance from your work. It is very important. So you don't have to work even when you're ill. You don't have to work, you don't have to struggle because you can get those living benefits when you have real financial, you're in some situations that you don't know what to do. So the next one is that grief can be a powerful motivator to make a difference in the life of others. So let your pain fuel your purpose, just like Kristen is doing. And the last one I took it out of all that we've talked about today is the time to prepare for unexpected is now. So don't wait until it's too late to protect those who you love. Because when you wait till it's too late, you may fall ill and you will not be able to get the life insurance anymore. You'll not be able to get protection for your family anymore. And that will not be our portion. So secure your family as much as you can with it. Get a business, buy a business if you can. Get your life insurance, get your trust in place, get everything in place. So when your family are grieving, they will grieve upward, they will grieve happily, they will grieve in a very smiling mood, and they will not be grieving and thinking of survival. Okay, so basically that's what I have for you today. But before I leave, do you have something to share?
Yes, yes. I just want to close in by saying, let's pass down generational wealth instead of generational poverty. Um, I'm a Christian woman, so I'm just going to read this verse here. Proverbs 13:22. It says, "A good man leaves an inheritance to his children." So even in the Bible, God talks about leaving a legacy, and it doesn't necessarily have to be money. It could be other assets like land. Um, but I mean, he touches on legacy and he tells us, a good man leaves an inheritance for his children.
Oh
Um,
my
so,
God.
yes. So your husband, he left an inheritance. He's a good man. So that's a blessing. He did good.
Wow. I tell you, do you know that's exactly what I wanted to talk about, which is Proverbs 13:22, which is about inheritance, because the legacy we leave behind is the life we lead. Thank you so much, because that means that our spirit is really like working together. So today, I want to ask you, listeners, one question which you need to think about and make a decision. And that is, what legacy do you want to leave behind for your loved ones? Share your thoughts with us. You can send us email, you can send us DM as usual, and you can leave the comments below in our comment section. And as you participate in all these, you win a free workbook on building a legacy of love. So thank you so much. But don't forget to pick up our book, A Pen That Will Write Free. And also don't forget to subscribe and follow us on our Facebook and Instagram pages, on our YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and everywhere that podcast is being aired. Thank you for being with us. Join our community, which is Trashy Tribe, and stay connected with Grief to Grace, where we help you move from being stuck to being unstuck. Thank you so much for listening today, irrespective of all the challenges we have to go through today to be able to get this out. I just thank you for staying put with us and listening. And I know that God is safe, just like we had matching verses for today. It means that God is speaking with someone, and God can never lie. So we are moving from grief to grace, and there is grace in that grief. So thank you so much in joining us today. And also thank you, Christine. Say hello to your kids, to your family, to everyone. And I love you all. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye bye.